pace this time with our passes, right? The speed of the pass as we're moving around the whole field. Ready, play. We'll give you 1 minute to do the whole field. I guess 6 squares, please. 6 squares. 6 squares, please. Get 3 in this box, 3 in this box. 1 ball to 1 ball to 3 in this box, 3 in the red box. Go quick, quick. Quickly, let's go. 1 ball to a box. 3 in this box, the other box, 3 in the red box. Red box. Okay. And stop the ball here. Who did this time? Everybody in it, right? Good. Okay. Knock the ball off. You are now in. You gotta knock the ball out of foul. When your ball gets knocked out of bounds, you gotta go outside and you gotta do 5 one-touch passes, then you can come back in. Well done. Nice. And stop. Okay. Now we're going to see whip. Then pass to the first. Ready? Michael, let's go. All right. Go. We got to be moving. We have to be moving. Okay, stop. We have to be moving. Remember, open it. 2 touches still. Still 2 touches. And open your head. Still 2 touches. Good. And 3. What do you do wrong second? All 2 receive that ball. Well, John, if you're trying to go this side, so by opening your head, what are we doing? You also have more options.
This one is too complex for U8, but should be good for U10, I think.
Yeah, I do it.
I did this last Sunday for
And a
U8.
defender too.
All right, let's go. The ball has to go around. Adjust your body, okay? Swing your hips over. The ball has to go across your body always. The ball comes from here, it's going to go across my body, across my chest, from here now. From there, across my chest, from here. Understand? Let's go. The 10 passes, go quick. To 10. Open your hips. Open. Good. Well done. And quickly, the still 2 touches. Good. Make sure you power. Good. Well done. Good. So, done. Who was 10? Who was 10? All right. What do you want to do? Push-ups, jumping jacks, what? Okay. All right, good enough. All right.
Evil man.
Come on, let's have a chat. Offensively, whenever they are coming to attack us together, how are we successful?
All right, not Rafiq. What did you think?
Yes. What we do after basketball,
Once they got started, I think it was people were going to get into it.
Yeah, it was good for movement.
He gave us the answers
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
Bit impatient.
As a teacher, if you've ever been a school teacher, you have to figure out if they really wait. Because in teaching public school, you think you're giving them 5 seconds, you're really giving them 2. You really got to make yourself count 15, 20 in your head.
Right.
That's a hard thing to do. Especially if you haven't done it before.
Right. So was it age appropriate?
Yes.
Yeah?
Implications for the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guided discovery?
There were a few.
He did. He asked questions. It's not that he didn't ask the
He answered
questions.
himself.
It's just that he answered them. Right, that's what it was. That's
He
exactly
guided
right.
himself to the answer.
Self-guided.
Self-guided discovery.
Self-discovery. Beautiful thing.
Self-exploration.
Okay, now, so in this activity, you've got how many people working together?
Three.
All right. So how do the three work together?
Support.
Adjusting.
They stay adjacent to the ball, so they have to move off the
You
ball.
think like a child.
Can I talk?
Yeah, cool. You can talk now. Yeah, that's enough.
Did you always the question how you use activity?
Yeah. How are the three working together?
By moving and communicating.
All right. Now we'll go back to this movement thing in a minute. But how are the three working together?
Whenever the other person passes, they go so the other person passes.
Okay, so you've got two people involved by passing and receiving. You're either the passer, or you're the receiver, or you're nothing. Yeah? Because you can't pass to two people at once. So you're the passer or the receiver. If you're not the passer or the receiver, what should you do?
Move to the open.
That's how you stop it. I'm glad you moved that. If you're not the passer or the receiver, where should you go?
Move to the open.
That doesn't mean anything to me. I haven't got open. You're not allowing me to do that because I either have to go to this cone, that cone, that cone, or that cone. So I'm not moving to open space. Well, I understand that. Listen, I understand this activity. What I'm trying to get you all to understand is how do you use this activity to get out of it what we want you to get out of it? If you're not the passer or the receiver, where should you go?
Getting in position to see
There is no answer to that. There's no answer to that. Okay? If you're not the passer or the receiver, where do you go? There's guided question 1. Where should the ball be? With a person in the middle or a person on the outside? Where should it be?
In the middle.
It should be with the person in the middle, and that's what you wanted. Every time the ball was here, you wanted a support player there and a support player there. Okay, so if the ball came here and that person stayed over there,
Oh, because he gave the restriction, you can't pass it through the box.
right, right.
So
So
if
if
you
the
were
ball
given that-
came here, that ball now is technically on the outside. So when I pass it back, because this player didn't move, the ball is now in the middle of the three. So just I don't know if it's an easy way, but just a broken down way of saying to them, I want you to be at right angles to the ball to provide support. And now, you know, the issue with it is that we never get perfect right angles, okay? And you said you have to move. Well, you said first 1 to 10 passes, you have to move. I would say, no, we don't. Because we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
I tried.
Right.
Yes.
And now you said you have to move, and I said no, you don't.
We tried to. And
But you would if you clarified. If you're not the passer or the receiver, where do you move? Where should the ball be? In the middle or on the outside? Is the ball in the middle or is it on the outside? And now reminder questions. So is the ball in the middle? No. Where should you be? Is the ball in the middle? Yes. We're good. Yeah? And that way you can get them to move. What's another way of getting them to move?
Add a light pressure.
Add what?
Add a defender.
Add a defender. Add a defender. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. But if you want them to move, yeah, in this particular situation, you need to put the defender in. Yeah.
What do you feel is the better shape to take on this kind of thing? Because earlier we did it with the triangle,
Yep.
where here we've got the box, so now there is that extra spot if you want to keep that right angle. But if you just kept in the triangle, like which one do you feel would be more beneficial?
Well,
Or are they both?
you're still making.
I'm now going to get sexy on you. I'm going to say it's not a square, it's a diamond. And that's important, isn't it, for children? Yeah. What shape is this? No, square. No, it isn't. Yeah, it is. No, it isn't. What other shape looks like this? Right. So we've got triangles and diamonds created out of squares. Brilliant. Now, in answer to your question, when Olka started out with his activity, where did everybody stand?
Same spot.
Where did they move to?
Nowhere.
Problem. So this presents a problem because there's 4 cones and only 3 people. So this is good, by the way. This is good stuff. There's four cones, only 3 people. So now we have a problem to solve. How do we fill the empty cone? And maybe that's a question. Who should move to the empty cone? Well, it's not the passer, it's not the receiver. So just ways of, yeah.
So if you were to start this and say, all right, 3 players, we have a diamond, ball must stay on the outside, not in the middle of the box. Go. And then wait for them to figure it out. Let them problem solve it.
And if they don't, then start to ask the questions to get them to solve the problem. If you're not the passive receiver, where should you be? Why is there an empty cone? Who should go and fill the empty cone? So yeah, just, and again, it doesn't happen overnight. It didn't happen for me overnight. I'm a recovering threes-aholic. Okay, it's taken me years to develop the art and the skill of asking questions. But because I run loads and loads of coaching courses, I get to do it all the time. You run loads and loads of coaching sessions, but you're only just starting to develop guided questions. So it'll come. It just takes time. So overall, you're on track. Don't look so unhappy. It was much better than you thought it was. So your issues are, let them answer the questions. Bite your tongue until somebody else has spoken. That would be my advice to you. Okay, but in terms of the activity, it covers all of the categories. And you certainly knew what you wanted out of it, and you knew how to get it. I know you know how to get it because you told them. That would be the biggest issue, I think. Just let them come up with the answers.
Should we restrict touches or no?
Why?
I don't know.
This is my favourite thing for that. 1 if you can, 2 if you need, and 3 if you must. 1 if you can, 2 if you need, 3 if you must. He said holding up 4 fingers.
I've also contracted that square and expanded it depending on your players. And within a team, you may have a group you walk over and just kind of kick them in a bit because they're really struggling with 7, 8 yards. 5 yards is much more manageable. And they also, kids won't, U10 players won't distance themselves. They won't distance themselves from that cone. You have to say it over and over and over again. You know, they will literally stand on the cone, and it complicates the activity, I think, because there's a yeah.
Brave players.
And that's the beauty of the sport, isn't it? Because you put 4 cones down and now you're going off in a million different directions. You're not happy because they stand by the cones, get them to move. Where do you get them to move? Yeah. How do you get them to do that? I mean, those are the things that need to come into mind. All right, next.